Welcome back, everybody. This is Wings of Wax, and we are playing Slay the Spire. We are on Act 2 of our Ironclad run here. Looks like we are fighting the... oh my god, what's his name? The ghostly... I don't know, something. He basically starts off with like a huge attack and then has like a 6 cycle, which you can tell by the gems that are surrounding him that fill up. And the first attack that he does is actually a pretty big one, but he's not like super duper hard. As long as you can like defend up on the first turn, you basically have 6 turns to prep for the next big attack, because he just does like smaller, weaker style attacks typically. Alright, so last time, we ended up with a Ginger, which is pretty fantastic. Red Skull, I really am a big fan of too. I'm not sure Red Skull is going to be too relevant though, because I do remember this is going to be a defensive blockade deck, which I am very excited to build, because I do really like the blockade decks quite a bit. We got to upgrade 2 skills. Whenever you apply vulnerable, apply 1 weak as well, so makes bash a little more handy. We got Slaver's Collar that will make it so during bosses and elite combats we also get an additional energy. So our deck looks like we're off to a pretty good start. I am trying out Berserk because I do feel like it kind of fits into a barricade style deck. The order in which I guess I'm trying to like upgrade cards is probably Barricade first, then into Berserk. Maybe the other way around actually, because Berserk, when it's upgraded, turns into 1 vulnerable, which means we can kind of plan it out a little bit better on a turn to be able to cast that and not take too much damage or just block up on that turn. So I think this might actually come before this. I guess it depends, because on against like regular enemies, we're obviously not going to have that extra energy. Whereas elites, we are going to have the extra energy to be able to get Barricade out, which maybe that's actually more reason to go for the Barricade upgrade, because this turns into 2 mana, which means we can actually cast like some type of like Shrug It Off or Defend or something in that same turn. But we're off to a pretty good start. I would say I am looking for Shield Bash at least 1, and Entrench at least 1. And what's the other called? True Grit is the other one. And True Grit, the reason why you want it is because if you don't have the resources to be able to get rid of all these strikes, you need a way to be able to start to exhaust your attacks. A lot of your attacks. You want to save a couple towards the end, so that way you can actually like deal massive amounts of damage or actually kill your enemies. Because if you're just putting a barricade blocks and stuff like that, it really doesn't. You're just a defensive strategy, so you're not actually putting out any offense, which you need to be able to put out offense to be able to kill people. So yeah, we're looking to upgrade Barricade and Berserk. We're looking to pick up a True Grit and a Shield Bash and an Entrench. I feel like those are the big things. We are looking to get rid of a couple of strikes here. Maybe pick up 1 more like solid. If we don't pick up Shield Bash, then I would like to pick up like 1 more big heavy attack, like Bludgeon. Something like that, I guess, to be able to deal extra damage and such. Since I think that's the kind of the direction we were going in. I do like that we already upgraded our Metallicize too, and we also have an upgraded armaments, which is going to be helpful, because being able to upgrade armaments and be able to cast Barricade in the same turn, I think, is beneficial. Also, being able to put Berserk in our hand too with armaments and potentially Barricade, you know, also beneficial too. So yeah, we're after a pretty good start. We're looking to just go pure blockade strategy. So I might like, if games start to get super duper long, I might end up just editing some of this, that way it goes a little quicker, and just like fast forward a couple of things here and there. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, you know. We are in Act 2, so I do still want to fight a couple of elites here and there, probably like 2 at least. I mean, even if we only hit 1, it's not that big of a deal, but this path looks like it might be one of the better ones. So the reason why is because if you look at this path right here, we have all enemies, all hallway enemies here. And yeah, that should be great to be able to find a barricade, but the problem is we only have 1 rest stop before we have to fight an elite, and then 2 more combats, and then another elite, and then another combat right after. So this is, I feel like, a death wish to go down, because we don't have the option to be able to rest up if we need to. So obviously this is the direction we kind of want to go in, but we've got to choose which path actually we want to inevitably go down here. And I am tempted to fight more rooms right now, more of these regular enemy rooms, so that we can try to actually find like a shield bash or find an entrench or find a true grit. So I'm a little more enticed to try to find more cards that fit into our deck rather than going for the question mark route right now. Question marks are good, but I want more chances to find our cards that we're going to need for the deck first, because we don't have a barricade deck yet. We have the startings to a barricade deck, but we actually need some help to be able to get to a barricade deck. The only issue is, if I choose to go down this route, we obviously have, what, 5 combats before we get to an elite, and then we actually have a chance to be able to go for a rest up here. So it might be... I feel like at this point, since we already have a direction, like the reason why I choose usually elites in the beginning, like I try to focus on them, is because sometimes they give you a direction to be able to go in. Like you get like Dead Branch, which makes you want to go for Exhaust, or you get like things that like buff up your armor, or you know, stuff like that like leads you down a direction to be able to choose a path to go down, to choose a synergy for your deck. And you want an you want an archetype for your deck, because that'll just power up more wins. So I'm a little cautious because this is a lot of combats, but I think we do start here at the very least. He's not attacking turn 1, which means we actually can go for the Berserk and the Barricade, which I'm not opposed to here. We obviously could go for the Blessing of the Forge, but I'm trying to save potions for better combats, so I think we just go for the Berserk here because we know he's going to be attacking for 10. So as long as we can put up 15 block on the following turn, or something even close to that, then I'll be more than happy, which unfortunately we didn't, but that's still okay. I would like to upgrade all my cards, so let's start with that. I don't think it's worth disarming because he actually does have negates. So we're going to take 10 here, but that's not like the end of the world for us. And this is the only turn that we're like really punished for that Berserk card, so... here, I would like to block as much as I possibly can, and I guess we just deal damage. I don't think it's worth going for the bash because, like I said, he has 3 negates, 3 artifacts, which means it's going to be more difficult for us to be able to actually land, you know, a vulnerability on him. So I think it's honestly a pipe dream at that point. Let's go for Shrug It Off first before making decisions. Yeah, we should go for Metallicize. Whether or not we actually go for the defend here is up for debate, I guess. Let's go for a Pommel Strike and make a decision there. We got to Shrug It Off, which Shrug It Off, you know, obviously is like the same thing as a defend here, except it draws us a card deeper. But I think just dealing the extra damage here, just to try to get him as dead as quickly as possible, is more beneficial to us. We also had, I forgot the Metallicize. We cast that. All right, so Armaments is not really great here. We can't kill him, though. That is the problem. So, unfortunately, we do have to go for, like, Armaments and Defend to be able to put up some block, because he's dealing us quite a bit of damage here. And I would like to soak up as much of that as possible, but we still get to put some aggression on him. He's not defending this turn, which means we have a chance to be able to kill him here. Let's see. We have 10... So it's not enough. Oh, actually, yes it is. Yes it is. I thought he had 12 armor on him. So I was thinking, yeah, he was at 32, but he was actually at 22. We did get a Whirlwind. Ooh. I'm a pretty big fan of that card, actually. I think that's worthwhile to take at least one of. We don't really have any AoE style. I like at least like 1 or 2 AoEs in the deck, and that is a really good one to be able to, you know, use all of our mana for the turn. I wish we had ways to be able to get some extra mana, but... man, from that combat alone, it makes me think that I shouldn't just focus on this path here. So maybe we just actually hit up the question mark here, hit this combat, hit a question mark. We'll decide when we actually finish this combat if we want to hit the question mark or not. We do also have a 20% heal here with our Blood Potion. I do not want to take this. Typically, I would take this, but... I don't think that losing 22 max HP right now is really worthwhile, since there are some pretty big hitters at the end of the game. This is like a decent option, though. I feel like Vampires is undervalued, but I feel like this isn't the time when we should really be considering taking the Vampires here. But Vampires is good because you get 5 bites and removes all strikes from your deck, which is a deal 7 and heal 2 every time you cast them, which is pretty good. And if you can upgrade them, they deal, is it 9 or 10, but you heal 3. So we do have quite a bit of strikes though, but I don't think we take this because I feel like we just need some more HP to be able to fight combats here. Interesting. So we're only getting attacked by 1 enemy this turn. I do think we actually go for the whirlwind. I'm not sure if this triggers. Yes, it does. Okay, I wasn't sure if it triggered them actually. I wasn't sure. It has to count as 3 attacks for them to get taken out. That's one of their that like flight looking buff that they had on them. They take 50% less damage, but also you need to hit them 3 times. But it's not sometimes like say like you have like combust. Combust doesn't actually count towards that 3 hits, whereas apparently whirlwind does, because apparently it counts as 3 separate attacks. So that's pretty handy. We do have metallicize, so metallicize, defend, and just like strike one of them. We could also just block. We could also just defend for a turn here, and then go for 2 strikes instead, and just take 1 damage, which is not a terrible option either. That would make it so we can actually take one of these guys out a little bit quicker. So I'm actually going to lean towards that one. As much as I like metallicize, and I think it's great, I think just trying to kill these guys as quickly as possible is just the better option for us. Take at least one of these out for the cost of 1 health. We do armaments, which is great because we actually have Berserk here. So let's start with that. We have a deal 9. These guys are going to go back into flight mode, which I can't really do much about. Do we? Yeah, I think we just want to take this guy out, right? Like, I think that is just the best option. Like, it doesn't matter which one of these you use, but mana efficiency. It's not like we have Ice Cream, which carries over any unused, the relic that carries over any unused energy. So we got another whirlwind. Yeah, like, why wouldn't I cast whirlwind here? Both of you, you know, get paralyzed again, or whatever this is called, stunned. There we go. Yeah, let's just keep trying to keep up with the aggression here. Can we actually kill one? This is 15 damage, so we can actually kill this guy. So let's go for that. I think we should metallicize here, since we can't kill him, and that blocks all of his combat for this turn. And we can still get an extra strike in, so that's kind of the upside of having Berserk, is we actually get some extra mana to be able to take these guys out. We don't have enough to be able to kill you, so let's shrug it off and see if we draw it. We do. So that is fantastic. We didn't take too much health there, so I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Sword Boomerang, Armaments, and Heavy Blade. None of these, like, we don't need a second Armaments. Sword Boomerang is great, and Heavy Blade is great, but it's only great in, like, the strength builds, and we are not a strength build. We are a barricade build, so we skip here. We didn't take, like, any HP. Do I really want to risk this? I don't think I do. So we have the designer Inspire. I've already read his dialogue once before on the channel, so I'm just gonna skip over that. If we remove anything, it's probably gonna be like what, a strike. I do think that 90 gold here is pretty decent. Upgrading 2 random cards. Is there any like if it hits like a Berserk or a Barricade, then that would be fantastic. Like at least one of those, then obviously that would be great. But I'm more likely to actually hit like Strike, Shrug It Off, Defend, Pommel Strike, and Whirlwind. Whirlwind's actually really good upgraded too, because it deals 7 damage, which is a lot. So I'm actually tempted to go for that, but I think we'll go for the full service. I'll get rid of a Strike here. We upgraded a Strike. Okay, not the end of the world. I do wish that we could have upgraded, Barricade or Berserk. That would have been fantastic for us, but they're not doing anything this turn, which means I think we set up Barricade. Let's see if we can carry over some block and stuff. We're not really like super duper set up for that, but we can try our best here. We do have the Berserk, but the problem is he's going to be attacking on the following turn, which means they're both probably going to be attacking on that turn. So I'm a little cautious. Let's start with the Shrug It Off and see what we lead with. We have Metallicize and we have Defend here. So let's just try to go for a block. Do I want to go for the Berserk? I'm just afraid, because we haven't dealt any damage, that both of them are going to be attacking next turn. So that's kind of the reason why, like, having 2 vulnerable is actually hurtful for us. And as much as I would like to have the extra energy for this fight, I think it's more beneficial for us to not just take, an extra, like, 12 damage or so. We did get another Shrug It Off, so let's go over that. We have a Disarm. Disarm is actually pretty good against this guy. Actually, they both don't attack in multiples, but it is, like, helpful. Do we go for, like, a Pommel Strike, though, to see if we draw, like, another defend card? I think that's actually the play. And since this guy has block on this turn, I'm going to actually attack this one. Yeah, it's still worth it for the longevity of this. 24, he will actually deal, will be down 21, so we'll actually take 2. No, we have Metallicized, so right now we're only taking 1 currently, so I'm wondering if we should just go in for a second attack here, but I think this will just help us out in the long run since we're, like, stacking up some of our armor. We actually get to carry over 2 armor, which, you know, is not nothing. It's fine. Let's go for the armaments here. This is probably the turn where we're going to go for the Berserk because we're only vulnerable for this turn, and we can actually block this guy. It's not really worth going for the Shrug. Actually, yes, it is, because it's 2 more blocks, so I will go for the Shrug It Off. I was thinking that this was also going to be 8, but I forgot we were frailed. Okay, so this is the one big turn that he gets in, but for the rest of the game, basically, rest of this match, we actually get to get an extra energy, so I'm pretty ecstatic about that. I would like to Shrug It Off because, you know, always having some extra armor to carry over for the next couple of turns is beneficial to us. I don't think we go for the Whirlwind, as cool as that is, because when this guy heals, he heals both of them at the same time. So I think we're going to bash here and go for the Strike on this guy to try to take him out a little bit quicker. Maybe we can set up a turn where we could actually kill him. Obviously not this turn because he put up some... this guy armored up for him, but... we have really nothing to, like, upgrade here. I will start with the Shrug It Off, though. We'll see where that leads us. He's going to be healing both of them. So I really have no reason to attack here, so I think it's actually just best for me to go for the defend and defend. And I guess we'll go for the armaments to upgrade the Strike, since, like I said, there really isn't a point to attacking both of them there, since he's going to heal both. They're attacking again. So I guess we start with Shrug It Off. This is how a lot of the games are going to go. If we're basically just going to be, you know, trying to get a bunch of defend and just keep rolling through. I actually think we just keep going, actually. See if we can just get to, like, you know, 100 defend, and then we start trying to get some aggression in. That is not this turn, which is fine, because now we can actually start to lead up with some aggression, which I am happy with, because he's going to be defending here, which means we can start... Probably, he's going to be trying to heal, I would imagine, so we probably just keep putting up more defense. As crappy as that is. He's going to be, you know, I think, healing up both of these again, so I think we just continue to, you know, do our thing. We can potentially deal him some extra damage, though, this turn, so let's do that. Could we have killed him? I think we actually could have. We could have gone for, like, the double strike and then gone for the Whirlwind. Yeah, that probably would have killed him, actually. That probably was a smarter play. He is vulnerable for 1 more turn, so I'm going to try to take him out this turn. Armaments to upgrade the last strike here. It's not really worth it. Let's rather just go for the extra block here to make sure that we can actually just power through this guy. So now one of them's down. This fight should go a lot easier now, so let's just keep it going. You no longer have a healing mage, so, you know, I think that's beneficial for us. We have the armaments to upgrade the Whirlwind and the Pommel, so let's go for the Pommel first. Is it better for us to just go for the Whirlwind? Yeah, I think it is. That way he's just set up to die next turn, because we're only taking 13 here, so. And we get another Pommel Strike, so. It didn't matter which one we used there, honestly. Speed Potion, anything I want to get rid of? Not really. All these are... Actually, yeah, Speed Potion is actually better than Flex if we're going for barricade decks, so reasons. Combust is actually pretty good for a barricade deck too. I'm not opposed to that. Uppercut's okay. It's definitely on the weaker side, I feel like, of the 2 mana cards for the Ironclad, but it's not the weakest, that's for sure. It's definitely a decent one, but the problem is I feel like it's only really good if it's upgraded. Reckless Charge is decent too, but you have to be a very aggressive deck, but Combust is actually good because, you know, we only take 1 damage to deal 7 damage to all enemies, and I would like to fight this elite. Okay, so this is going to be an issue. Let's see here. I think we actually go for the upgrade here, so that we can actually have some extra mana to be able to carry over for the next couple of turns. We could also go for the Shrug It Off and the Defend. The only thing I'm wondering is, do we actually pop this potion here to be able to start to try to get ahead too? What are we, healing 19? Yeah, they're attacking for a lot here. I feel like that's actually worthwhile. Okay, so we basically spent our first turn just setting up, you know, our blockade. We're going to take 3 damage, which is not the end of the world here. We can't, like, just keep blocking, unfortunately. I will go for a Shrug It Off, though. We did get Whirlwind. Whirlwind is not terrible. I'm not opposed to that. I wish we had some more block. We could Armaments, actually, to make the Whirlwind slightly better. I think that's beneficial to us. So we Whirlwinded. We're going to take some extra damage here, but I'm not afraid to use, like, all my potions. I think there's a time and a place, and right now is that time and place to start using potions, especially because these guys are actually pretty difficult. So this guy is going to be a nightmare for us now. So he's going to be casting Entangle, which means we don't get to use any attacks next turn, which is a problem. I would like to get the Combust down, so let's start with a Pommel Strike on this guy. We have Metallicize, which is actually pretty helpful. We do also have a Strike here, and I think we just go for this. I could Disarm, which is fine. If I go for the Berserk here, we're going to take 10 extra damage. I don't think that's worthwhile. I really don't. This is like one of those turns where we have to decide whether or not it's worth it to us, and right there, it was not. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to attack here, so hopefully we draw some Defends. We drew 1 Defend. We drew 1. Okay. Well, we're definitely not berserking this turn. I can tell you that much. I don't think we need to pop the potion just yet, so it's not lethal or anything. I would like to save the potion if I can help it, so. Oh boy, aren't you just, like, all wonderful here? You all vulnerable to me. Okay. Well, we just cast all the cards in our hands. Disarm does the same for any of these. This guy's going to die first. This guy's probably going to die second, which means this one we're going to get the most value out of. And we have to pop a potion here, otherwise we do die. We might actually just be dead. We'll see. We got one taken out, so if we can take out another one, then I'll be a little more ecstatic about the situation, which looks like we can. So let's go for that. We can Shrug It Off to carry over some block for the following turn, so let's go for that. And we should be able to just kill you here, so if we bash and then Whirlwind. There we go. Was it worth it? Yeah, I would say it is. The boss, we get 2 relics whenever we open a non-boss chest, so all of these, we get to open up 2 for the next 2 these chests that we open up. We get 2 relics, so that's worthwhile. None of these are really worth it to me, honestly. Thunderclap is fine. It's a pretty good card. We're not the Strength deck, so we're not going to be taking that. And Havoc is not going to be beneficial to us, even if it does cost 0 mana. Being able to, we have like we could get rid of, say, so I would say Havoc is not good, especially because we have Whirlwinds, which means it would soak up all of our damage for the turn, or soak up all of our mana for the turn, because it would consume all of our mana. And then we like basically just ruin whatever we were deciding for that turn. It also could be hurtful if we ever hit like a Berserk on it, because we don't, maybe not necessarily want to be vulnerable for that turn because we're going to take too much damage. Obviously, just about everything else, though, is perfectly fine to hit off of it, but none of these are really worthwhile. So that's why I'm not, like, I was just trying to, like, walk you through, I guess, justifying why I'm not taking Havoc, even though it is 0 mana. Do we just want to fight a combat first? Man, I would love to get to a shop, but we'll get to a shop right after. That's perfectly fine. I think we just, you know, play it safe here. Let's go for the rest. Doom, doom, doom. I love that sound. The music that plays whenever you rest, it reminds me so much of Binding of Isaac, and I love that. Okay, so if we Berserk here, This is going to be 16. He's dealing us 12. He's going to deal us an extra 3, so it'd be 18 damage, and we would have 16 blocks, so we'd take 3 if I go for the Berserk. But the problem is that the next turn, both of them are going to be attacking, because this guy attacks every turn, and this one is setting up to attack next turn, so we actually can't do that. So I guess what we will do here is put up a defend and then whirlwind. Actually, is it better for us to strike here, try to take this out? That might just be better for us. Strike and then whirlwind. Since we do want this one dead, the issue is that we're going to be taking some hits from this guy. Like, normally I would try to play it safe, but they're both going to be very aggressive for this game, so I think dealing, this is 6 damage, this is 5 damage, so it's only like 1 damage different. And honestly, the two, it doesn't even matter, like, the damage we're going to be dealing from whirlwind onto this guy, because he's going to be blocking it, so yeah, this just doesn't matter. I'm actually just tempted, if that's the case, to just go for the second defend, to just take no damage this turn. I think that's actually worthwhile then. Yeah, that makes more sense, because we're just trying to preserve our life total. Unfortunately, Barricade still costs 3 mana. I don't think we're really going to have a great opportunity to be able to cast Barricade this game, so I think we're just going to go for, you know, our traditional blocks here and just apply some more pressure. Let's go. That's the downside of having Barricade cost 3, is we would have taken so much damage there if that was the case, so let's not do that. Let's not do that. So let's start with a Shrug It. Is that true? Just double checking, because I'm trying to make it so we don't take too much damage this turn, even though we are definitely going to take some. If I go for the Shrug It Off, what do we go for? Combust and Pommel Strike, which will actually kill this. We'll take an extra 1 damage, which is not that big of a deal, but we're actually going to take an extra 9 damage from this guy. I don't really see any other way to go around this, unfortunately. But at least one of them will be dead. We get vulnerable for what, 2 turns? Yeah, 2 turns. Ugh. That's the downside here. Yeah, let's go for the Shrug It Off. We get Armaments. Armaments is good, but I mean, we're going to take 9 damage from the rat enemy, the fungi, regardless. What is he called? The fungi beast? So I'm almost tempted to just go for like Armaments and Combust here, because we do need to like start applying some pressure. This will set us up so that way we can actually take this guy out next turn. We need to deal 8 damage, which we are drawing what, a Disarm. Disarm is fine, because Disarm can actually be cast on this guy to prevent us from taking more damage. And this also makes it so actually Combust is actually going to deal 7 damage, so we are more reliable to be able to take him out. I don't think Pommel Strike is the right play this turn, because we're going to be taking the 9 regardless. And it would have been plus 9 damage basically to him if we killed the rat. The fungi beast. Yeah, we can't really afford to cast Barricade. It's just too much damage. So let's just go for this. We have a defend to be able to defend all the damage that's going to be dealt to us. And honestly, it doesn't matter which one we do here. Right, yeah, it doesn't matter, because we're going to be taking 1 regardless from the Combust to kill that. We take no damage this turn, so that's at least a good start. This is a great start for us. I would like to Armaments to be able to upgrade more of our cards, because this fight's going to go a little bit longer. He's going to be dealing us 8. And technically we could, we're going to be, yeah, we're only going to take 1 damage, which is actually going to be 2 damage because of Combust. So is it time to start applying some pressure? I think we do. To take 1 damage here and start whittling down his plated armor. Okay. So we got a Bash, which I think is worthwhile here. We're going to be taking probably 3 damage, because I'm probably not going to be blocking this turn. So let's start with the Vulnerable, so that we can try to set up for the next couple of turns to be able to deal him some more extra damage. Ooh, oh, I forgot we actually apply Weak. Oh, Champion's Built coming to the rescue. Okay, so if that's the case, do we go for the Berserk here? Because if so, then worst case scenario is he attacks on the following turn, and we just have to put up a bunch of block. And how much block do we have in the deck right now? We only have 3 defense and an armament. We should be able to find like 2, though, I would imagine, for the following turn, which I think is worthwhile, because the way that his attacks cycle, from what I can figure, is like he starts small, works his way gradually up. So I think it's actually beneficial for us to be able to go for a Berserk here and just take, you know, 3 damage on the chin to be able to start actually applying more pressure to him. Okay, yeah, this is basically what I was hoping for. So there's really no reason for me to cast armaments. So let's just. This is going to be 12, so we can actually go for the bash and the strike here. So perfect. And he should be dead next turn. So as long as we can get rid of the armor, he will be dead. Yeah, we got a body slam. Okay. We're on our way. We're on our way. Perfect. Lantern is fantastic. Also, Needle and Thread is also really good too. As much as I would like to take a key here, these Needle and Thread and Needle are like fantastic for the barricade strategy. So I'm pretty excited about this. We get an extra energy, and we also get 4 plated armor, which means we're going to get 4 armor just about every turn. The problem is that every time we take red heart damage, I guess, or that's what it's called in Isaac, red bar damage, our plated armor will be ticked down to 3, and then if we get hit again, we get, you know, down to 2 until it eventually goes away. So it'll keep giving us 4 until we take red bar damage. Okay, yeah, it sounded weird saying that, but that is what it is. All right, let's go for the shop. We have 246 gold. Unfortunately, we have nothing to buy. Healing is 50% more effective. We didn't really want that. Potions are really good for at the end of combats, and Artifact is fine too. We did not find our... I was hoping to find an entrench here, but, you know. It's not worth it for us to go for another Berserk because we really haven't had the option to be able to upgrade our Berserk already. Bludgeon is a pretty good card. Offering is a pretty good card. Is a card removal service just better for us, though? I'm not sure. I feel like Offering is better than card removal service here, though. Because Offering is really, really good. And sets us up to be able to go for, like, barricade turns and stuff like that, too. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. Potions. We have a regen potion, which actually I think is beneficial here. Strength potion is not bad. Energy potion is not bad. I think we'll go for the just regen potion since, you know, we're at pretty low HP anyways. And we potentially could die on this fight right here. So we probably pop our regen potion, I would imagine, since this fight's going to go a little longer. Not too much long, but I would like to disarm this guy. So why don't we start with that? And what do we got? We can defend, which is probably beneficial to us. We have 4 plate armor, and I actually do want to put up a defend because we're going to be taking 4 from this guy and 5 from this guy. And if they actually hit us, they're going to take away all of our plate armor because it's every time they attack. If they deal red heart damage, it actually removes it. So this would definitely remove our plate armor if we don't put up a defend here. So I'm trying to, like, preserve that. Oh my god, my cat just scared the crap out of me. He just sniffed my back end. What's going on? Let's see. I have headphones on, so I hear nothing. Let's see. Do we go for the bash? Since we can't actually take this guy out of the sky this turn. Yeah, let's go for the bash on this guy. It was a temptation to be able to go for this, but we want to take out the flying guy first. Since we just put the -3 attack on this one, so we're planning on this one being a longer fight, whereas this one's going to come down pretty quickly. So we like have to go for our attacks this turn, so there's no really point in going for the armaments because we have to take this guy out of the sky. And we can go for the Berserk here. Since he's not going to attack this turn, he's not going to attack this turn, but they probably are both attacking on the following, which 14 damage is really not that bad, all things considering. I would like to go for Offering. He did put a Hex on us, which means every time we cast a non-attack card, basically, we get to put a Dazed into our deck, which is a problem because it just fills up our deck with garbage. But this is a pretty good turn to set up potentially a barricade. Question is, do we need the barricade? Because we're really only worried about this guy, and he has -3 attack right now, so I actually don't think we actually go for it. Because I would rather try to regenerate 6 HP, honestly. Yep. This will kill this, and we can just put up another block, I guess. It doesn't matter. I don't really want to go for the offering because I'm trying to save and preserve my HP. That is super duper unfortunate. 22 damage, and I have 0 blocks. That is the worst. That is the worst right there. That is... We got 3 dazes. We have a Shrug It Off still in our deck, so... yeah, Bash is definitely the play to go here. We should... If I Shrug It Off here, then I'm going to potentially put another Daze into our deck, and I really want to just draw gas. As much as we could potentially draw another piece of gas here, I don't think it's worthwhile. Okay, we can block a lot of this damage, which is good. We don't actually have a way to kill you, correct? This would be 8, so it would be 12. 12 times 4, correct? Which would be 48 damage. Actually, that is a way to kill you. Perfect. So unfortunately, we did lose more HP there. Second Barricade is not really worth it. Wild Strike is fine. Thunderclap is fine. Skip. So, unfortunately here, we are probably going to have to rest again, I would imagine, because we're at pretty low life total. Because, like, our deck is not built for the Barricade yet. It is temptation, though, to actually go for the Barricade here and just upgrade it right now. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. That is risky. That is risky. 36 HP against a Act 2 Elite. Oh boy. That is risky bisky stuff. I'm not sure. I feel like upgrading the Barricade will just be more beneficial though. We do have another combat though coming up right after that, which is a problem. We're probably going to get, like, what, Lord Minion here, most likely, I would imagine. Oh, which he's going to deal quite a bit of damage. Yeah, I have to play it safe here. And I was right, Lord Minion. Gremlin Leader, whatever his name is. Yeah, let's go for the armaments to upgrade all these, because that's going to be beneficial in the long run. They're not dealing a lot of damage, which means that I could potentially go for the Berserk here. But let's go for the Shrug It Off before making any more decisions. We could also potentially just kill one of these with the Body Slam, so I am okay with that. Do we go for the Offering and see if we actually find our our Barricade here? It's not a terrible choice. I don't know if this is actually the turn for Offering. Because we can just, like, Whirlwind and just take care of these guys, and that would actually be helpful to us. So, yeah. Reasons. I think that was a good justification to not go for it this turn. We don't, like, need the Offering right away, and it wasn't, like, a dead card there, so... Because we already had the plays that we wanted to make. Yes, yes. Combust is actually really helpful for us, and we get another strike, so perfect. He's down to half health. And we set up the what's this called? Combust to be able to start whittling away these guys as well. So that's actually reasonable enough for us. So let's go for the Shrug It Off first, since we do want to block their damage. We do Metallicize, which is actually really beneficial to us right here, since we don't really have a lot to do with our mana. And I would like to make it so you deal less damage. And I would like to strike you, since we are blocking all the damage that's coming in from these little guys, and he's almost dead. So. And he's got one more turn of vulnerability, so I actually do want to try to take advantage of that and see if we can actually kill him. I'm not sure if we can. No, we can't. We did get Barricade, though, and we have Defend, so... Man, that was with the -3 strength, too. That's a little bit ridiculous there. So we're going to have to, like, take out one of these guys, or can we set up the Barricade? I don't think it's worth it for us to set up the Barricade here. That's a lot of damage coming in right there. Can we actually kill one of these, though, and put up the Defend? That is the question. He's at 21. which we can use 3 attacks to be able to take him out. Like, that's just a lot of my turn. And I would like to set up the barricade if we're not able to kill him with the vulnerability this turn. But we're taking 27, taking, what, 41? 27, right? Right? Yeah, 41. That's a lot of damage. And we do have 8 block, so already. Between the plate armor and the metallicize, so... I think taking 7 damage off the table is just better for us here. And thankfully we drew an extra defend to be able to block up this turn, try not to take way too much damage. We are definitely going to be taking some hits, but it could have been way worse. Okay. Let's go for the Shrug It Off first. No, we actually can prevent just about all of his damage, so is that really worthwhile then? Yeah, I think we should, because we actually do need to draw a card and see if we can actually do something else this turn. We did get Offering. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Do we actually go for the Offering is the question. We can draw Bash. I can Armaments go for the Offering and go for the Bash and Whirlwind, which would potentially kill this, correct? It's 2, which this would actually be costing us 2 mana to be able to cast the Bash anyway, so we have 4 mana left over. And right now Whirlwind is upgraded to 8. So we would deal 4 extra. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile. Actually, it'd be 3 attacks, because we're actually going to be using the armaments. But 3 times 8 is 24 damage, so that seems worthwhile to me. Let's go for the Offering. I am taking some damage here on this, but for a pretty good reason, I feel like. Because potentially, he dies here. He does. Sentinel's pretty decent. Do we actually have anything that, you know, could every once in a while help it out? None. We actually have nothing that actually exhausts it. So, like, Sentinel is actually, like, good because you can sometimes run, like, a somewhat exhaust, like, second synergy. And if we had, like, an extra, like, card that exhausted something in our deck, I would definitely consider taking it here. I don't think we take any of these, though. Like, Palm Strike is probably the best card, I would say, here for us. Because we could just draw further into blocks and stuff. But if we actually had something that synergized with exhaust, like even 1 card, I would consider taking this. But since we don't, ripperonis. So we're 41 health. Let's see what we can do here. We can disarm him to make him deal 4 damage this turn. Do we go for the Offering? I think we do. They're both pretty powerful enemies. So let's start with the Offering and see where that leads us. So we're definitely going to go for the Metallicize this turn. We're definitely going to go for the Disarm on this guy this turn. From there, what do we do? Those are both upgrade cards, so it didn't really matter for the armaments. That's kind of the reason why I went for those. I think we do go for the armaments here so that we can set up the Berserk. So we have extra mana for the next following turns. And obviously, it's just best for us to just deal a bunch of damage. We're going to try to take out this guy as quickly as we can. That was a really good turn for us, honestly. All things considering, which did take 6, which is not nothing, but in the grand scheme of things, it's basically nothing. So we have the option to either go for the barricade and defend here, which I think is more beneficial to us, because this guy will hit like a truck every once in a while. Or we can just take this guy out, which means we'd have to use 2 attacks. No, actually, we only need 1. Oh, so never mind. I didn't realize that we had a strength up. Oops. We're at 50% HP, so worthwhile. Let's go for that. So, we definitely want to bash you. I don't think we want to combust here. We're trying to, like, preserve our life total as much as we can. I can go for the Shrug It Off because... Oh, no, he actually has Hex on us already. I was thinking he didn't have Hex on us. Is this more? This is more. So let's go for this, and we'll just go for this. I don't want to cast a Combust because I'm trying to preserve life total. That's basically what it comes down to. Since it does make us lose HP and it doesn't deal the 1 damage to us. If it dealt the 1 damage to us, it would remove our armor. But because we lose the HP, it actually removes it from, you know, our life total. So, what is the play? We put a Hex into our deck. Like, we're definitely going for this. We know that. And I think we're just going to put up a bunch of armor and then just kill him. Yeah. I didn't like initially see it, but eventually as I started to lead down that path, it made sense. None of these are worthwhile. I'm looking for an entrench here. I would really greatly like an entrench. Okay, so we're fighting the Hexagon guy. Hexaghost, I believe is what his name is. I think we actually can afford to smith here. 41 health against the Hexaghost is not terrible. Especially since we do have a lot of blocks in the deck anyways. And I would like to set up a barricade to be able to prevent some more damage in the future. So let's do it. Hopefully we don't draw the Berserk like right on the first turn. But we do have an extra mana because we have the Slaver's Collar. Oh wait, he's not. Oh no, it's not Hexaghost. Oh no. It's Automaton. This is actually going to be a bit more tough. Oh, that was really stupid then. I will go for the Berserk. I will remove a debuff. And I will go for this Ritual Potion, which will make us gain 1 strength every single turn. Yeah, that was really silly. That was really, really silly. Oh god. I was thinking that was Hexaghost. It's not Hexaghost. Goofy Goober David. Okay. So unfortunately, we were vulnerable this turn. I didn't think he would be attacking on the first turn he came out. That is super duper unfortunate. However, so we're definitely going to be going for this first. We can set up the barricade, which is good, but we also have the armaments. I don't think we're going to be attacking this turn. We're just going to try to set up as much defense as possible, which means we have the offering to be able to do that, to help us out here. So I think we should go for the offering first, which will then upgrade even more cards. Then we can go for the barricade. I should have went for the Shrug It Off. Actually, no, upgrading the Shrug It Off actually is probably more beneficial to us. And I will go for the Combust here. Yeah. We need to start whittling down all these enemies, so. Oh my god, this is going to be a really painful fight for us. So he just stole my Whirlwind, which is actually hurtful because I do want a way to be able to kill these. So, I think we target you, if that is the case. This deals more damage currently, and we cannot kill you unless I actually go for the Body Slam. Body Slam is going to deal, let's see, it's going to be 38 damage, so we can actually kill you right now. Why don't we do that? Unfortunately, actually, is it worth us just taking the damage here? So that way we can actually get the Whirlwind for the following turn and be able to take out potentially both of these. I think that is actually more beneficial to us. I also would like to put up some more block, you know, because it actually is beneficial. We will get it for next turn because we're actually going to kill you with a Combust. Yeah, that's actually better for us. Let's do that. You stole my Shrug It Off. That is rude. That is incredibly disrespectful. Let's go for the Shrug It Off because we obviously want to just try to get as much block as possible. I will go for the armaments because upgrading Whirlwind is actually beneficial to us in the long run. Is it just better to just keep armoring up, honestly? Because he's going to be going for a pretty big all-out attack in the next, like, 2 or 3 turns. As much as I would like to kill these. We only need how much damage with this? We actually only need 2 hits, so I can actually go for another defense here and then go for a Whirlwind to take that out. Okay. That saved us quite a bit of damage. And I haven't gone for the Vulnerability Potion because he actually has 2 artifacts still, so for obvious reasons, we have not done that. Let's see. Armaments, Pommel Strike, upgraded, which is actually beneficial for us in the long run. I would like to put up more block because he's pretty soon going to be doing some pretty major attacks to us. Is it better for us to attack him? Like, we can afford to take a hit right now. Like, I just feel like the longer the game goes... does he buff his strength, though? I'm not sure if he buffs his strength the longer the game goes. But I was thinking, like, the longer this game goes, the more armor that we actually have is beneficial to us. But 16 damage is quite a lot of damage. Here comes this Hyper Beam, which we can actually absorb it, so I'm not like super disappointed in that. We started with the card draw first so that we can see if we had more options here. We did, which is great. So we'll go for another defend. We'll go for a bash. We'll go for an enormous body slam. All good. We can take 2 hyper beam hits here. Does this kill you? 5 times 17. Oh my god. So 50, and then 5 times 7 is what? 35. So 85 damage. We are close, but we are not quite there. Body slam is actually going to be really good here, though. So does this kill you? Yes, it does. Fantastic. That went really, really well. I'm glad we were able to upgrade our barricade and not get punished for it. That is ultimately the hardest decision, is choosing when to upgrade your cards and when not to. When to actually go for the inevitable, you know, choice to either rest or upgrade cards. Because the more upgraded cards you have, the better your run's going to be in the long run. But you have to be able to survive to be able to use those. So it's a really tough call, honestly. What do we get for choices? We get double tap, limit break, and bludgeon. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, clearly we're not taking limit break, and it comes down to double tap and bludgeon, and that's... Honestly, there is an argument that we don't take either of them. I will give you that. I do think that bludgeon is really strong by itself, but double tap, when it's upgraded, could actually be the damage that we need, and also double tap works really, really well with whirlwind. Whirlwind also, double tap also works decently with pommel strike too, if we can upgrade pommel strike at some point down the line. But honestly, going for the whirlwind, that is a pretty good reason enough. Also, doubling bash, excuse me. Doubling bash actually would be beneficial too, to put, you know, 6 vulnerability on a boss. I think that's worthwhile. Something to mention. Yeah, I think that's just better. Ooh, and we get Runic Pyramid too. Oh boy. And we have a bunch of extra mana too, so I think that's going to be the pick here. We also get Fusion Hammer, which is gain 1 energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer smith at rest sites, which we actually do need to smith because we have Berserk that definitely needs to get smithed, and double tap right now. Those are 2 big priorities. We have Tiny House as well, which is upon pickup, obtain 1 potion, gain 50 gold, raise your max HP to +5, and obtain 1 card and upgrade 1 random card. This is actually a decent one. I think that honestly Fusion Hammer is probably better than the Tiny House, just because like the mana is more beneficial to you. But I really like Runic Pyramid because at the end of your turn you no longer discard your hand. So any cards that you keep at the end of your turn, you get to keep for the following turns. So I think that's more beneficial to us, and also it helps us set up to be able to go for like the double tap whirlwinds and all that type of stuff, or be able to hold on to like berserks, that way we don't, you know, get hosed by like turns, so we can set it up properly. So I think that's actually really beneficial to us here. All right, that's gonna do it though for Act 2. I hope you're excited for Act 3, because I know I am. We're still looking for an Entrench, which is a key part of this deck. We don't necessarily need it, but it will make things like tremendously easier if we actually do get it. So that's kind of why I'm looking for it in the long run. I think it's going to be... If we can find an Entrench, this is a GG's. Like, there's nothing else that this game can really do for me at that point. Obviously, we would like to remove some cards. So either we can get some card removal through the shop, or through question marks, which we're going to be trying to go for in this part of the run, and avoiding all the elite enemies, because I do not want to be taken out by Nemesis, because Nemesis is a giant pain in the rumpus. But yeah, if we can find either... I would obviously, I would love to have an Entrench, because then it solidifies this deck archetype. And I'm also looking for a True Grit. So those are the 2 big things. Like, if we can't remove a bunch of cards from our deck, then I need a True Grit. So those are the 2 things that we're looking for to finish off the deck. Everything else is like basically perfect. We can upgrade 2 more cards, I feel like, with Berserk and with double tap, and then we'll be solid. So that's like what we're looking to do on the next floor here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this type of content and the commentary that went along with it. I do my best to try to make, you know, the smartest plays that I potentially can. I do know, you know, a little bit about card games here and there. I've played Magic the Gathering for almost 23, 24 years almost. I played a lot of Hearthstone. I've played many different card games, board games, and stuff like that, deck builders. So I have some knowledge of like how to evaluate cards, but obviously I'm not perfect, and I always like to learn new things and learn new synergies and strategies between different cards. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel quite a lot, actually. If we can get to 2,000 subs, then I will record an extra episode that day. So please help me achieve my goal of getting to 20, which will help out the channel, and potentially maybe we can start to develop a conversation somewhere in the comments, which, you know, I'm looking to try to build like a small community around card games and stuff like that, so we can start to discuss different cool card games or different concepts or different synergies, or I just love all things card games. So I mean, like, I'm always interested in new cards for any game, honestly, because the card design is one of my passions, I guess. I feel like I did work on a small I never actually published it, but I did actually work on a deck building, not deck building, a card game myself. And it was probably one of the most fun I've ever had really doing anything. So, but other than actually playing card games, which I love playing card games. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you have yourself a great day. Do something positive today. Do something great. Make yourself happy. That being said, good luck and grind on, everyone.